Saquon Barkley as the favorite. Barkley has been responsible for 8 touchdowns this season, including a kick return and a passing touchdown on Saturday. Baker Mayfield is right behind Barkley. We're joined by college football analyst Joel Klatt. Welcome, Joel. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
So you're going to Baker Mayfield Stadium this coming Saturday?
No, I'll be in, well.
He owns it.
He owns it. I see what you did there. I'm going to Ohio State. That's right. We'll have Oklahoma on earlier on Fox. Good call. I like what you did there.
Joel, should Barkley be the Heisman favorite?
No. And unfortunately for him, it forces me to take a position in essentially explaining why he shouldn't, when I just want to celebrate the fact that he's a great back. But because of the hype that surrounds him, you have to have the conversation, okay? Saquon Barkley right now is a phenomenal player. He's a great back. He's probably the #1 running back when you look projected to the National Football League. But he's not the best college running back, much less player, that we have in college football this season. Wow. Okay, Saquon Barkley is not in the top 10 in the nation in rushing. No. He's not in the top 35 in yards per rush, and he's not in the top 50 in touchdowns. That's not Heisman worthy. I'm sorry. You can't run for 2.8 yards per carry against Indiana, who gave up 6 yards per carry to J.K. Dobbins, 6 yards per carry to L.A. Ramsby. That's right, he good plays for Georgia Southern. Go check that one out. The best running back in the country so far has been Bryce Love.
It has.
Bryce Love has run for 1,088 yards in 5 games. This guy leads the country in yards per game by over 100 from Barkley, 217 per game, 11 yards per rush. So we get caught up in this moment. We're prisoners of the moment of, he hurdled a guy against Iowa, and he had the kick return and a touchdown pass. The Heisman favorite right now should be Baker Mayfield. He leads the country in yards per attempt, yards per completion, completion percentage of any quarterback that's played 4 or more games, touchdown to interception ratio, 13-0. Efficiency rating, 228. There's not another quarterback in the 200s. I'm giving you a lot of numbers to say Baker Mayfield has been the best player in college football. I hate taking that stance because Barkley's wonderful, but like I said, it's not even close. And the fact that he's the favorite from Bovada, to me, is it's kind of insulting right now. You got to watch the whole picture in college football, because Barkley hasn't even been the best running back in the country.
Wait, I got to shake his hand. Thank you for that opinion.
Okay, you got it.
That's the first time I've ever agreed with.
Well, I mean,
I know. I thought something else was
my list, I don't even know why I'm going to talk about my list, because that's the exact same thing.
Really?
Yeah. The dude, he's Barkley's second in the nation behind Bryson Love. The dude just rushed for 301 yards, went for 263 against UCLA. As you mentioned, Joel, 1,088 yards in 5 games. And we talk about a guy because he ran a kick return and he threw a touchdown pass. Now if he rushes for 200 against Michigan, he rushes for 200 against Ohio State.
Maybe.
Let's come back and revisit this conversation. But I agree with everything you said about Baker Mayfield. To go to the big house, the horseshoe, and do what he did, put the flag down. 384. That's what he did. He has 13 touchdowns, 0 interception. He's playing on the #2 team, #3 team in the country. That's enough for me. I know Saquon Barkley and what he did in the Rose Bowl. He had some big games early, but not now, Skip. Not now. But hold on. Don't count that old kid down in Louisville. Don't count him out just yet, because he's going to put a couple more 400-yard games on you, too.
Yeah. Do you mind if I sing Boomer Sooner? Just break it out.
Whatever.
Now that Stoops is no longer the coach, you're like all on board, aren't you?
Well, I'm on board with this quarterback.
You're going to jinx him, Skip.
And the new coach is pretty good, because he actually got them up for a big road national TV game. Yeah. Like the old coach couldn't. And they actually went to Ohio State and won the game because the quarterback went 27 of 35 for, as Shannon points out, 384, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's the signature game of this college football season.
Right.
Period. End of story. I know what Saquon did at Iowa was monster game. These numbers are just like staggering. What did he go? 211 on 28 carries. He also caught 12 balls for 94 more yards. And I know he ran the kickoff back against Indiana. Give him that. But when you go 20 carries against Indiana for a total of 56 yards, as you point out, 2.8, and all I heard on Saturday, and I'm a college football nut, but I'm hearing all the commentators, the bloggers, it's just, I'm bombarded everywhere I turn with, it's over. He won the Heisman. When he ran the kickoff back, it was like, because today's media, everybody stumbles all over each other to proclaim a winner in week 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Like rushed to judgment on who won the Heisman. And Saquon has won the Heisman, and then I was shocked that the odds went all the way to him. Maybe it's because people are betting that direction, but it's a runaway train, man. And sometimes he is a runaway train, except against Iowa's porous run defense. He wasn't a runaway train. And when I look at Baker Mayfield, he leads the nation in QBR. And look at his touchdown passes. He went 3 in the first game, 3 in the second game, 4 and 3. So each game he's thrown at least 3 touchdowns with no interceptions.
Right.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
He's got a long way to go. He's got some big games he's got to come up big in.
Let me add just some depth to the Heisman conversation. I think that the Heisman takes 3 things, okay? And I'm a Heisman voter. This is what I look at, and this is what most Heisman voters look at. Numbers, moments, and circumstances. Okay, that's how votes are cast. Well, Mayfield has the numbers. Like we've all talked about it, leading the country in several different categories. Moments, you just spoke to it. Mayfield has the quintessential moment so far of this college football season with that win at Ohio State. Now let's get to circumstances. This guy lost a 1,500-yard receiver, 2 1,000-yard backs, and the coach that had the most wins in his school's history in Bob Stoops, and that's a pretty good history with Bud Wilkinson and Barry Switzer.
Go ahead.
Think of those circumstances. Look at him. He can't.
Yeah, stop trying to.
It was. I'm telling you the truth.
He
It was
can't
the
stop
greatest thing
himself.
that ever happened to the program.
Oh, my goodness.
Did he win you a national championship?
He won. It was a long time. It was like 1999.
Did it happen?
Yeah, he was a prohibitive underdog against Florida State, which did not take him seriously, and he broke through in his second year of head coaching. That's it.
Stop
Period. End of
minimizing
story.
the
Do you know how many disasters?
We're agreeing. You don't get me upset right now talking about Bob Stoops this way. Bob Stoops has been.
I like him. He's a good guy.
I'm just saying that those 3 things, the circumstances surrounding Baker Mayfield, all of it suggests that this guy is the one that should be getting hype. It's groupthink with all the bloggers and everything that goes on. No one wants to stand out, with an opinion. So one person says Saquon Barkley and everyone kind of runs the flag. It's like the people that cover college football at this point are kind of like 6-year-old soccer teams. When the ball goes over here and they run over here and then they go over here and then they run over here.
True.
So
That's
the
what
next
happens.
guy that has a monster game, they're going to be proclaiming the Heisman Trophy.
Okay, and
for that
speaking
guy.
of monster games, is it possible that Bryce Love gets in the middle of this? Because every time I look up, he's beyond Christian McCaffrey things, right? And I know you guys both love Christian McCaffrey, but this is beyond that. I'm saying, could he, again, their team is not going to be good enough to sort of justify his candidacy?
We'll see, because he's going to have moments now. They'll have Washington left on the schedule. They've got some games left on the schedule. There's a chance that they could get to the Pac-12 championship. It's so difficult from the Stanford perspective. Think of all the guys that have finished second ever since Harbaugh got there in 07. You've got Toby Gerhardt finished second. Andrew Luck finished second. Now we've got Christian McCaffrey finished second in the Heisman Trophy voting. Unless you go to USC, it's almost impossible to win the Heisman Trophy
Because
from
not
the
enough
West
people
Coast.
see your games.
That's right.
Unless you have a year like Mariota.
That's right. Mariota, a guy like Jim Plunkett, you got to go back to that. Gary Beeman at Oregon State. Other than that, it's all,
Yeah, USC, Hollywood. Everybody knows USC tradition. You are quarterbacks, glamour. But like I said, if you have a year like Mariota where you throw for 4,000 yards and you rush for another 1,000 and you got 40 touchdowns in your national championship hunt, you're going to get a chance. But yeah, I like Barkley, and he's played well, but he hadn't had a better year than thus far.
And I still love Sam Darnold projecting to the National Football League, but he had a rough night up there in Washington.
the groupthink, it does the same thing when you talk about like hype for guys. It also does the thing. So now all of them, they're running over here like, oh, Darnold's terrible.
He's terrible.
He's
not terrible.
Relax. You had a couple bad games. You force the ball down the field. Relax.
You don't enjoy 6-year-old soccer games?
I've got to watch a lot. My 5-year-old plays soccer now. It's like, he scored a goal last week. That's a big deal.
But Darnold is not playing better than Baker Mayfield. Now, he might project better than Baker Mayfield, but he's not playing better.
No.
Are you the guy that has to bring the oranges in the juice boxes?
I miss them because they're always on Saturdays. So I'm just the one. My wife Sarah holds up the phone, and I just watch on FaceTime from my hotel room. So I'll be in Columbus watching on FaceTime.
Well, congrats to the little guy. Be sure to check out Joel Klatt with Gus Johnson, Maryland, and Ohio State Saturday on Fox. Joel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Can the Yankees make a deep playoff run? We'll discuss that with Nick Swisher next.